Raider Nation, what's the deal, man? Once again, it's your guy, Panama Fargo. And the topic of conversation I thought we can get into today, man. What are some of the position battles that we have to look forward to once training camp rolls around for the Las Vegas Raiders, right? It's right around the corner. So, without further ado, let's get this theme music going and let's get into it.
As a young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
What is the deal, man? You know you watching the Raider Rundown. Make sure you guys are hitting that like and subscribe button, man, because you're not going to want to miss none of the updates that I got coming once training camp rolls around. You know, I'm ready for real football to get started, just like y'all. So at the end of the day, man, I'm going to keep you updated. So make sure y'all come back and tune in to what we got going on, right? So, like I said, what we're trying to get into today, what are some of the position battles that we can look forward to once training camp does roll around? And it's not really hard to look any much further, right, than this right guard position on offense. Now, anybody that watched the Raiders last year, right, especially last year, you can see the weakest link on the chain on the offensive line was that right guard position. A lot of movement, right? I mean, it ended up getting really settled with, I forget your boy's name. But at the end of the day, it ended up getting really, really settled last year. But at the end of the day, whoever was manning that right guard position last year was not really the long-term solution, was not the long-term answer, right? When you look at Dylan Parham, I thought they was going to put Dylan Parham at the right guard position. It looked like he was better at right guard. But, okay, it seems like now he's going to stay at that left guard / backup center role, right? That's what it looks like he's going to be at. So with this right guard, who do we have battling for this spot? You got Netane Moody, right? You got the guy that you just signed, Van Roten, I believe. You signed him from the Jets. Okay, so boom. Those are two right there that's already going to be battling for that spot. Now, I think that Netane Moody is going to be able to, out-battle whoever he has right there going with him. But at the end of the day, that's going to be a very, very important position to look at, because if that right guard position doesn't get fixed, we're looking at the same outcomes as last year. And I feel like with more continuity, right, with the same scheme, same players that are playing next to them, minus the right guard position who will be new, right? Everybody else on the offensive line is familiar. Everybody else on the offensive line has played with each other. So they have a real possibility to take a real major leap up as far as, their production and how good they are this year. So the right guard position is a very, very important, battle to keep our eye on, so that we can have that continuity throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, once the season rolls around, of the same core 5 offensive linemen. Because, I don't want to see McDaniels and them do the same shit they did last year as far as in the preseason, we're flip-flopping offensive lines and shit like that, and we don't really know who's going to be starting until week one. Week one, it's a fucking surprise. Like, nah, bro. Let's get the continuity now, going into training camp, going into preseason, so that once the season rolls around, we're straight, right? Next position that we got to look at, have to look at the safety position, okay? Now, when I say the safety position, I don't necessarily mean it's going to be a clear-cut battle to who will be the starter, who won't be the starter, because as of right now, I feel like Merrick and Epps are going to be the starters at safety, right? This is more pertaining to the level of, how much can Merrick upgrade? How much can Merrick, evolve as a player? That's what it comes down to, okay? Because you got Chris Smith in the wing, and it's going to be very interesting to see who really comes away with that third safety spot also as well. You got Chris Smith, you just drafted, right? You got Isaiah Palomau, who may be your strong safety / linebacker, right? So at the end of the day, a lot of mix and mangling parts that you got up in here. But at the end of the day, only a couple of people can take that playing time, right? So it's going to be a real cool battle to see who comes away with that third safety spot that's going to be on the field. Because at the end of the day, the Raiders do use 3 safeties in some packages. So, we're going to have to see who takes that spot right there. And at the same time, how has Merrick upgraded? How has Merrick, taken to being in this system for a second straight year, being more comfortable? Will he elevate his game, right? We're looking at Epps to give us some more stability on that side. So I really don't feel like we're going to be looking at him too much. You just signed Epps to a nice little chunk of change. So at the end of the day, right, you're looking at him to give you stability. Now you're looking at Merrick to give you that over the top, like you got to get to the superstar shit, right? Superstar level. And I've been talking about him a lot this offseason, right? And that's only because I feel like this guy, if he can unlock what we truly know he can do, right, which is be a ball hawk, be all over the field, it's going to get real scary. All right, it's going to get real scary, and this Raiders defense is only going to take another step up, another step above. Okay, so safety, real slight battle looking at that. We got to see who wins that third safety spot. And now you look at the corner spot, okay? Who is going to come away with that outside corner role? When you look at Nate Hobbs, all right, I kept saying Nate Hobbs is better shooting in the slot, but at the end of the day, this coaching staff feels like he can play the outside role, which he might be able to do. I mean, last year, it was a lot of inconsistencies as far as injuries and getting on and off the field. So now this year, all right, like I said with Merrick, same system, continuity in the same system. So now let's hope that he can stay healthy and really play his game, right? He had a cast on his hand last year. When I'm talking about Hobbs, he had a cast on your hand last year. And his primary way to play defense, play the corner position, is to get his hands on people and play that press man, right? Hard to play press man if you got a cast on your fucking hand, right? Hard to play press man when you got a cast on your hand. So now let's see. Hopefully he's all good to go, ready and polished, man. He comes out here and shows us what we know he can do. Now you got Hobbs there. Who's going to man that other corner spot on the outside? Who's going to win the slot battle? All right, that's the next thing. Because if Hobbs isn't playing the slot, you definitely need somebody else going in there. Now, we saw Tyler Hall last year show very, very good flashes of what he can be. And if he can sustain what he did last year in that short span for a 17-game, 18-game, 18-week season, we're on the rocking, bro. I like the way he looked last year in that little small sample size. So let's hope that he can take that and transition that to something bigger in a bigger role. Also with Tyler Hall, you're looking at him. You go on the outside over there, right? Who are we going to have on the outside over there? Will it be Duke Shelley? Will it be David Long? Although I think David Long is going to be more of a depth piece. Duke Shelley has more of a opportunity to get out there and really start. You got Brandon Faison, gives you some length. Still got Sam Webb, right? Unrestricted free agent from last year. I mean, and at the end of the day, I said free agent, but y'all know what I mean. Undrafted rookie, right? But at the end of the day, man, who's going to win those spots? Because, the corner position right now is up in the air. We got talent in the room. Don't get it mistaken. We have talent. But at the end of the day, it's no clear cut. This guy's better than this guy. This guy's better than this guy. Now, as training camp rolls around, we will see who separates himself from the pack. So that's another good training camp battle to think of. Last but not least, okay, last training camp battle that I feel like might be really, really, really important, okay? I think this one right here is going to be the key to everything being unlocked for this defense, which is the D-line, okay? Regardless of whatever the fuck we talk about for this defense, nothing gets cracking if the D-line don't get cracking, right? We know what Max is going to give us, okay? We kind of know what Chandler is going to give us. At the bare minimum, we know what Chandler will give us, all right? He's going to play good run defense. He's going to set that edge, and that's what he's going to do. That's bare minimum, okay? And we're hoping that Chandler can take his step up and increase his sack totals, because that's really what we got him for right now. It's good that he can play the edge and play that run, because we ain't had that in a long time. But at the end of the day, we really got Chandler to put pressure on that quarterback. So that's what we need going on right now, okay? And when I say D-line, I really mean that interior, okay? That interior D-line has to show improvement, and may the best man win in that motherfucker too, because at the end of the day, when you see it, right, you got Byron Young. You drafted Byron Young from Alabama, but you still have the guys that you drafted last year. When you're talking about Matthew Butler, you talk about Neil Farrell, right? And now you still got Jerry Tillery coming in there. Not saying that Jerry Tillery might beat out somebody you just drafted in Byron Young. But at the end of the day, right, who's going to take the majority role as to be the run stuffer, as to be the pass rush specialist of the group? Who's going to come in and be an every down D lineman? Okay, and I don't really put Tyree Wilson in the D-line category. He's more, to me, he's more of an end. You feel what I'm saying? He's going to play in the end. Although they will mix and match him to be on the inside and outside. He's going to mix and match going inside, outside. But at the end of the day, right, when we talking about this interior, we need Neil Farrell, right? We need the likes of Neil Farrell, the likes of Byron Young, even fucking Bilal Nichols. Dudes like this have to step up, right? And this battle right here in training camp is going to really show, you know, who's going to rise above the rest of the group. Now, when I say battle, when I really look at this D-line, honestly, right, when I look at the D-line, we need more of a who's going to step up and upgrade their game as far as a potential, you know, flip-flop goes. All right, you know what I'm talking about? And when I mean that, I mean who's going to step up their game so this rotation is where it needs to be. Because when you look at the D-line, right, and the Raiders have said this in the past, you need a great, solid D-line rotation. You can't just have 5 solid dudes. It's not like an O-line. You feel what I'm saying? As far as D-line goes, you need to keep guys fresh. You need to keep guys ready to go. So at the end of the day, you need to have a great rotation, just like basketball. You feel what I'm saying? When basketball, the playoff roll around, your rotation got to be right. It don't matter if your star player goes for 30. You feel what I'm saying? In the playoffs in basketball, you need your bench. You need the rotation to be where it's supposed to be. Same with the D-line, right? Same shit with the D-line. You need the rotation to be where it's supposed to be. You need your backups to be able to come in fresh and still give that pressure that your starters was giving, right? That's why teams like the 49ers, that's why teams like the Eagles look that fucking good. Their defenses look that good because their D-line, no matter what wave, can bring pressure. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where the Raiders need to get. Who's going to separate themselves from the group? So those are my positions right here that I feel like we got to really keep a close eye on. Once training camp comes around, once training camp really does roll around. But y'all let me know, man, who are y'all excited to see? What training camp battle are y'all excited to see? Let me know down below in the comments, man. Make sure y'all keep tapping on that like and subscribe button. And remember, I always keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.